All right, guys, 18.4 is here. You see I'm flying solo today. I'm on the road, so we're getting these tips to you guys and opinions in regards to setup, execution, cool down, all the goods as fast as we can. The big thing to talk about is handstand walking, right? It's here. It's in the open. I think that it is something that we all kind of questioned if it would happen this year or this soon, and we got our answer clearly. So hopefully you guys are feeling prepared. 18.4. First Diane, 21, 15, 9, 225 for the men, 155 for the ladies, and handstand push-ups. The first thing to talk about is the handstand push-up standard, right? I think that this is going to create some variance in how it feels per individual, right? And I say that because a lot of considerations based off of like anthropometrics, right? Like my arm length versus my height ratio. I'm 5'11", but my arm length is like the equivalent of an average 6'2" human. So how will that affect me differently than someone that is 5'9" with the appropriate reach for their height or the average reach? And it's going to look different. If you guys go back and note the film, I think we noticed that Panchik, the shorter athlete, actually had to have his hands more narrow and be closer to the wall to get his heels over the break of that line than Goodmanson did, who actually is longer framed and his hands were a little bit wider and seemed to hit that standard easier. So first things first, get your measurements and practice this thing. Not in the volume that it's going to set you back and build fatigue, but enough that you know that how each accurate and good rep is going to feel so that you can replicate that over time. Okay. The next thing to consider is the overall volume of work that we're doing here. It's 45 handstand push-ups. If you know that's your limiter, that's one of the things that you have to consider. Time under tension, how you're going to rest, how you're going to approach the wall. What are your sets going to look like? I tell people, break up a movement like this early and often, because you know that if you reach that point of failure or even a sticking point, that the remainder of the workout's going to have to go slower. And then we talk about the transitional portion to the heavier deadlift and the execution of the handstand walk. That's even going to be exponentially harder if you're already at a point of a deep deficit in regards to local muscle endurance or energy. When it comes to the deadlifts, we've got 45 deadlifts at a moderate to heavy weight. Depends on where you're at in your experience. A lot of the athletes that are watching this video are probably going to look at 225 and 155 as a moderate to light weight at this point in your experience or in the community. When we think about this, don't just think about Diane alone. I know there's a handful of you guys and a good portion of the general population that will watch this, and that's what you're shooting for. You're going to look to try to get done with Diane. If that's the case, go out guns a-blazing, do your thing, treat this like it's one workout, right? For those of you that are looking to finish this workout, you have to come out pacing appropriately. Go back and again watch the video, and I keep referencing that because it's always the best opportunity to learn visually to what to expect or feel without going through a first experience on your own. And what I see is Panchik and Goodmanson both came out pretty conservative by standards of what their Diane time would be. We would expect athletes of this caliber to go through this workout unbroken. 21, 15, 9, deadlifts, handstand push-ups, back and forth, quick transitions, knocking it out, right? All the way back to regionals in 2012, that's what we noticed, or that's what we saw. Athletes had that capacity then. So now it would be scary with that workout standing alone. So they definitely paced it, right? They even broke up handstand push-ups. They were breaking up deadlift sets. Then we get to that 315 bar, right? And what we see is we see two elite athletes that have been on the CrossFit Games floor many times doing doubles, singles, triples in sets. And it didn't look like it was planned. So this was one of those things where they ran into that barbell and it was heavier and felt heavier than they expected. So for you guys, from a perspective, you got to think, where's your deadlift and who are you, right? Is a posterior dominant workout something that's in your wheelhouse? How will your hamstrings feel? How will your low back feel? If it's best for you to break the sets in Diane in half, you need to make that decision early before you ever step onto the floor. The last thing that you want to do is be forced into rest, because I'll tell you, a lot of you are going to finish this workout for time. And if you're in that caliber and you find yourself having more dead time than you anticipate, and that means 3 extra seconds before you pick up the bar, 2 extra seconds before you pick up the bar, it's going to add up very quickly, and you're going to have a 20-second deficit behind the pace that you had hoped for, right? So make sure that you set a standard. In your first attempt, I believe that it's safe to say breaking things up early and often is a better way to go. For the handstand walk, be aware that your hands have to be behind the line. This cost Scott a little bit, definitely several seconds. I'm sure he'll go back and repeat it in his home gym and do better. But make sure that your hands are behind the line. And if you guys fall down, again, when you restart, it has to be behind that previous line. So just be accurate with your hand placement. That's going to be key to saving you time. And understand that this is not going to win you the workout, right? So be steady on your handstand walk. It's definitely a place where you can lose it if you're out of control, but I do not believe that anyone's going to win the workout with their ability to walk on their hands, especially at the level of regional qualifications. If you guys struggle with handstand walking and you're out there and you're like, hey, I'm just learning it, or this is something that's a pretty new movement to me, I'm not consistent, plan to utilize the lines to your advantage. Look to get past the next line, break, stand up, shake it off, get past the next line, break, shake it off. You get the idea. But the goal really is steady moving throughout this workout. Those of you guys that have your eyes on regionals, you definitely need to be focusing on the workout as a whole. Not too fast on Diane, breaking up reps early and often so that you can really put your pedal or the foot down and put the pedal to the metal through that latter half. That 315 and that 205-pound deadlift is where a lot of people are going to run into an issue. So when we consider equipment for this workout, it's simple. If you guys need wrist supports for handstand walking or to keep sweat off your hands, use them. But the equipment necessities should be very bare minimal. If you need a belt, my advice is to put off using it as long as you can, right? The less that you're fiddling with this belt around your waist, the better. We noticed that Bjorn was messing with his throughout the workout and it set him back a little bit. So consider using it less than more. If you do need it early, just be cognizant of when you're going to utilize it and when you're not. So know that when you need to loosen it, you need to loosen it and be doing that through movement. Transitions are really key to having success in this workout, so that's going to have to be a part of your setup. What we advise, I talked with Nick on the phone about this earlier, is that you guys have 2 bars set up, 2 separate bars. It's allowed. We want to think, if you're facing the wall where you're going to execute your handstand push-ups, 225 bar to the left, perpendicular to the wall, right? So that means you would just kick down from the wall, turn and face your bar, do your deadlift. So it's not a full 180-degree turn, it's a 90-degree turn. It's really short and simple. And then what we'll do is have the bar loaded to a heavyweight 315, or for the ladies 205, to the opposite side. So then it's just a straight out handstand walk away from the wall, back, and then that heavy bar is going to be to your right in regards to execution. We feel like this is the best way to set up for managing time, managing effort. This is where you'll get lulled to sleep in this workout, is through the transitions, guys. So that transition from the wall to the barbell and Diane, and that transition from that handstand walk to the barbell as you guys execute it from finishing the handstand walk or kicking down is going to be key. You can gain or lose 2 or 3 seconds every time you transition from the handstand walk, or even every time that you put the barbell down. So plan your rests, do the best that you can. Finish the workout with as much speed as possible. And then, in regards to repeatability, guys, for some of you that have been training with your eyes on the games and regionals all year, your volume and recoverability is extremely high, you're resilient. I think that you'll be able to take 2 stabs at this workout. There's going to be a lot of you guys that may be tweeners or people that are on the bubble that are going to try to go after this workout twice, and you're going to find that your local muscle endurance has not recovered even from a Friday to a Monday. So I'm really going to encourage you guys that you get out, you really be honest with yourself and how you feel physically and your ability to attack this workout. You set a game plan that you feel confident in executing, and that you practice those handstand push-up parameters before you ever step onto the floor, and be confident in how a successful rep needs to feel and how you're going to break up your sets. 18.4 is going to be fun, guys. It's a new challenge. We got handstand walking, and even if you guys are attacking this thing scaled, it'll be a great workout. So have fun and do the best you can.